So, welcome back, everyone. Who has any questions or comments on what we've done so far? Anyone? No, everyone's too shy. Come on up. Let me make that on for you. Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So, in terms of, actually, one thing I noticed when I was doing like the resistance part, and it's something that occurred to me, and I was wondering about your take on essentially, I guess, resisting hostile hypnosis, if you will. I mean, in the sense that when I would visualize, basically, I was, the person in front of me that, was going to do the induction, even though I would let them follow through, I would automatically, in my own sense of, I guess, sort of feeling it out, I would view them as predatory. And so therefore I would, I really, they were working on the mechanics, so I would let them do it, but I was, I was totally not under.
Right.
So what would your perspective be on this?
So, if I can work the question through, are you saying that would thinking of someone else as being more predatory be a shield or defense against being hypnotized by someone you don't want to hypnotize you? Is that kind of the question?
Sure,
summarized?
absolutely.
Okay, so really the key to not being influenced by someone else when you don't want it to be is your critical factor. It's the very thing that allows the influence process to break down, right? Now, there are, again, sneaky ways around all that sort of stuff. Everything has a counter, shall we say, but in general terms, if you activate your critical factor, however you activate your critical factor, that's what prevents the whole transition to occur. In other words, you can do it through breaking trust, you can do it by analysis, you can do it by asking questions, you can do it by rejecting ideas out of hand, and so on, right? How you do that really it's up to the individual. I could conceptualize an individual, for example, who has, so we say, such a terror of predators that the idea of someone being a predator puts them more under their spell than less, right? It could be also the opposite. In other words, for you, clearly, think someone is a predator, clearly comes to the trust boundary in that point. Your critical factor comes up and goes, nope, nope, nope. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So the key really isn't how you visualize the other person in terms of it has to be a predator, or it has to be this, or it has to be that. It's whatever you need to do to view the other person as no longer a valid source of information or a valid source of a healthy message for you, shall we say.
Right.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
Does that answer your question?
Definitely.
Okay, thank you. That's a great question. Any other questions like that? Come on up. You can come either side, it's fine. I will walk with you. Let's see who gets there first. I'm slowly getting... Oh man, you're fast. Okay, so...
Okay, well, I was just wondering, in what context would you go ahead and start this? I mean, would this be a...
The instant induction, right.
Would you just...
Again, this is a great introduction. So, how and when do we use instant inductions? I think it's an awesome question, right? The first answer, I'm going to give you two answers, and feel free to hover around because you may want to have a follow-up. The first answer I'm going to give you is a cheat answer, which is it doesn't matter in the sense of we're not teaching instant inductions to use instant inductions. They are going to be a way of understanding principles that we'll later be able to do conversationally. Make sense? The second answer, which is really the answer you're asking for, is really use it any time that you have you require hypnosis to occur, and the context allows for a formal induction. So you could use it, for example, in a hypnotherapy setting, right? In our hypnotherapy trainings, we teach instant inductions. It's the first thing. Why? If you're going to do things semi-formally, then it saves time. You have a 10-second induction versus a 10-hour induction, right? You actually get to do the work more quickly. If you're doing like walk-up street hypnosis, stuff like that, again, you have permission, the context allows for it, and you can do that. I even know people who will do instant inductions on unsuspecting people, either people they know or strangers. I would be much more wary of doing that, however, for several reasons. One, it's disrespectful. You're enforcing an experience on someone that they haven't acceded to. Number two, it can get you a lot of trouble. There is one hypnotist I know out there who likes to do these things, puts people in weird statue positions and so on. It's very entertaining, it's very inspirational, but he has no permission to do so, which means from time to time he gets into little fisticuffs as well and has to run like crazy to get out of this situation, right? People do strange things. So my rule of thumb, which you're welcome to follow, is do you have permission for an overt induction, right? At which point, go ahead, do an instant induction, and you've got a great context and so on. If that permission hasn't been formally presented, then consider covert hypnosis being more appropriate for the venue because it's going to be more respectful, allowing the person to find their own solutions or answers to things, or not doing it, or just how about doing something really radical? You know, I'm going to apologize for this crazy notion, right? How about we ask for permission?
What a concept.
I know. Would you like to be hypnotized? No? Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. That's a great question. Any other questions or comments on what we've done so far? Coming up.
Okay, so for the instant induction that we did just now, it's a physical shock and things like that. Is there a conversational equivalent that does it instant without using a body shock?
Yes, there is. There's several versions or ways of doing it. We may get chances. The quick answer to that is use surprise rather than physical shock, right? We won't be covering things like mind-bending language, although that's exactly what it's designed to do, amongst other things. That would be a great road to take it in. But anytime you have some kind of a surprise present, you'll have the same context, and then you can run it in the same direction. Okay? And the other answer to that, which we'll get onto in, I think, the third or fourth day, when we get into the concept of magic moments aren't quite as fast as instant inductions. They may take a whole of, 2 minutes. But they, again, create exactly the same context as a shock induction would do. Okay? So the way I view magic moments is it's my indirect, covert shock induction.
Okay, thank you.
Make sense? And the same rules that we're about to talk about apply to those as well. But we'll come on to that more. Any other questions, comments, praise, cash, gold, nuggets? I collect gold. Apparently, currencies are a little bit dodgy right now. So if you have any spare gold or silver, I'm not going to be picky, right? All right.
Just no euros.
No euros. Oh, they're going down the tubes, baby. Oh, no.